when I first kind of got into this stuff, I was, this is way back in 2006. And, I was just total dork. I had just finished college. It's like a golf dork, played some poker to make some money on the side, got a shitty job in like finance, that I hated. I remember I was like dating this girl, and, at a certain point she stopped wanting to sleep with me. And then I was like, oh, that's probably bad. And then like she dumped me on Valentine's Day. Yeah. And I remember feeling like actually a little bit good about that, because like, oh good, I don't have to dump her, because I also felt like I was settling.
Yeah.
So, and then a friend of mine like gave me the book, The Game, which a lot of guys I'm sure have read.
Yeah.
So I picked that up, and I was an idiot. So I was like, I don't really like what I'm reading here. It seems like very tactical and kind of weird and just odd, but I tried it anyways. And I fumbled around with game stuff for probably like 4 years. And I feel like I actually got worse, like creeping girls out, trying all these different methods and techniques and tried all the inner game stuff, tried like meditation and NLP and all the like theta healing.
Meditate your way to success with women.
Of course, right? Even like guys like tapping on their face, trying to deal with like approach anxiety. And I swear, like, I remember I was attending this pickup seminar up in San Francisco, and I was dating this girl at the time. She was a stripper, and I was like excited that I was able to finally like get a stripper. And I thought like the game stuff kind of worked. Yeah. And then she told me over the phone, she was like, hey, I have some bad news for you. She didn't frame it like that, but basically she told me she cheated on me. And it was with a dude who was like a friend of a friend. She told me that she like had sex with him without a condom in the butt, which she wouldn't let me do.
Wow.
And I had like this physical reaction where like I've never had like a true panic attack, but this is kind of what like the closest thing I could describe. I was flying back from San Francisco to San Diego that night. And on the plane, I had this migraine headache, which I never had before and never had to this day, just like this insane headache. And all I could think about was I need to get back to my girlfriend. I need to like somehow make sense of this situation. So I like got off the plane, took a cab to my car, drove up to Oceanside where she lived, which was like 45 minutes away. And, she was like, expecting me to be like all mad, but actually like I had this weird thing where I was obviously upset, but I like wanted to know everything in like painstakingly brutal detail. Like, how did he fuck you? How did this happen? How did that happen? And I made her give me like the like everything.
Oh, mate.
I don't know why I wanted to do that. It was like I was torturing myself with this information. Like, and then,
was it bigger than me? Did it feel better?
And all the answers I didn't want to hear, of course. It drove me crazy that like she let this guy do like a bunch of things to her that she wouldn't let me do to her. Yeah. And then like I forgave her and we made up and then 2 weeks later she dumped me. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong with me? I'm like, I've been working on this shit forever. I've been studying from all these guys. I've read all the books. I've been to all the seminars, and I suck. Like, there's got to be something wrong with me. There's like an invisible sign on my back that tells like women, like, this guy's
cheat on me. I'm a dork.
Yeah. Even though I'd learned like, I like, it was ridiculous. And then kind of like a whirlwind of shit happened. I lost my job in finance. It was 2008. The markets collapsed.
Yeah.
And I was like, in my late 20s at the time, single, and just like, what the fuck do I do now? Do I like go back and get a shitty job in finance? Do I like try to play, professional poker, which I kind of dabbled in during the poker craze. Yeah. But luckily a buddy of mine was living up in LA. He invited me to like come stay with him. And this guy, I didn't really know super well, but like we met through poker. Mm. And this guy was like a beast with girls. This guy was way better than any of the dating coaches, any of the pickup artists I'd ever met. He was rich because he was a poker player, but he was like an alpha male force of nature. I'd never met a guy like this before. He like didn't give a fuck he would say the craziest shit to girls. Like one of his opening lines was talking, he basically like walk up and tell them that like, hey, what would you do if I like, grabbed you by your hair, put you up against the wall and like,
Wow.
XYZ, like this graphic, like aggressive stuff. And they would like joke back, oh, I would kick you in the balls. And you'd be like, how could you kick me in the balls if you were like, if you were gasping for air? And then it was just like, and I was like, wow, this is like all the stuff that the pickup guys talk about, but no one actually does. And I haven't really seen. And this guy knew none of the tactics. He was just like I said, a total natural.
Yeah.
So I realized, I was like, all right, if I can just kind of hang out with this guy, this is really like the sort of, he's kind of like the abusive father I never had.